Hi everyone, welcome back to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our weekly editorial analysis. I am so sorry, something went wrong with my internet in the morning today and for some reason my internet kept buffering. So I had to reschedule the class and here we are back again. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, Diya, thank you. I'm clearly audible and visible. So we shall continue with what we were doing in the morning. I'm going to show you the article that I brought for you. I'm going to show you this heartbreaking article, which actually you might not be really happy with the revelation the article makes. And since we had read it only half, I'm going to be making you read the remaining half and give a closure to the story that we had started. Namaste, Lakshmi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for bearing with my poor internet that just left my side in the morning. Let's see what are we going to be doing in the class today. Quickly, without any ado. So, just a minute. Here we go. Before I start with anything, if you haven't taken the mock yet, नहीं दिया अभी तक mock तो दे दो भाई. I mean, you wouldn't get any other opportunity जहां आपको बाकी ऑल इंडिया बहुत सारे एस्पिरेंट्स के साथ अपने आप को टेस्ट करने का मौका मिलेगा. दे दो जल्दी से मॉक. 2 अक्टूबर को विंडो क्लोज हो जाएगी. 2 ही दिन बचे हुए हैं. डिले मत करो उसको कि पहले बाकी लोग देंगे तब मैं दूंगा, उनसे रिव्यू लेके दूंगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. मॉक दे दो जल्दी से, डिले मत करो. एंड हियर इज द एजेंडा ऑफ द सेशन. सर एक आर्टिकल आज करेंगे जो आज मैं मॉर्निंग में लेके आई थी एंड फॉर सम रीजन द क्लास हैड टू बी रीशेड्यूल्ड, इट वाज बफरिंग. वही आर्टिकल करेंगे बट उसके रिमेनिंग देयर वर 4 मोर पेजेस रिमेनिंग जिसमें हम इन्फरेंस ड्रॉ करेंगे, वोकैबुलरी डिफिकल्ट थी उस पे काम करेंगे और क्लोजर देंगे स्टोरी को. अच्छा, इफ यू हैड ऑलरेडी अटेंडेड माय मॉर्निंग क्लास, yes Preeti, even I'm really glad to see you again, but कुछ disclose नहीं करना. Okay, if you had already seen the morning class, don't disclose anything कि क्या होने वाला है आगे. Don't tell this to anyone. Let the surprise be up. Let them be very elated कि भाई disclose क्या करना है कहानी में, पता लगने दो लोगों को. तो वही आर्टिकल पढ़ेंगे, complete करेंगे. We'll understand the difficult vocabulary. Today's article has lots and lots of words. Difficult है vocabulary, उस पे काम करेंगे. देखेंगे word का मतलब नहीं पता है तो कैसे उसका मीनिंग डिराइव करेंगे, कैसे उसके ऊपर में काम करेंगे. एंड इन्फरेंस ड्रॉ करेंगे बहुत सारी लाइन से. एंड 2 सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस, मेन आइडिया ऑफ द पैसेज एंड टोन ऑफ द ऑथर. इन दोनों पे काम करेंगे, इन दोनों का आंसर ढूंढने का ट्राई करेंगे. स्पेसिफिकली मेन आइडिया इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ स्टोरीज लाइक दीज, उनका मेन आइडिया ढूंढना थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी होता है. मॉर्निंग में क्लास थी मुस्कान, बट वो मॉर्निंग की क्लास रिस्केड्यूल करनी पड़ी इवनिंग में बिकॉज मेरा इंटरनेट ने मेरा साथ छोड़ दिया. मैम मॉक वेबसाइट पर आपको रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा मॉक के लिए भूमि पहले, और ऐप में देना पड़ेगा वो आपको. ओके, सो दैट्स अबाउट द मॉक. चलिए आगे जल्दी से कंटिन्यू करते हैं. आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू द फर्स्ट पेज ऑफ द आर्टिकल. डोंट ब्लेम मी इफ इट ब्रेक्स योर हार्ट. I did not write the article, but then there are lots and lots of words to know. There are many things to infer. मेन आइडिया थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी है. टोन आसान है, टोन हम कर सकते हैं. ध्यान देते हैं फर्स्ट पेज पे. जल्दी से पढ़ो पहला पेज एंड सेंड मी योर डन इफ यू हैवंट रेड इट येट. Sonal, I'm going to help you. So Champollion made a revelation. He uncovered a mystery, unraveled a mystery. And he got so happy. इतना खुश हुआ उसने आके अपने ब्रदर को बोला पेरिस में that I've got it. And he fainted. He fainted and he did not recover from the elation for the next 5 days. अब देखो नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी है. यहां तक तो आपको समझ में आ गया होगा that he was very elated. उसने एक ऐसी मिस्ट्री अनकवर कर दी थी जो बहुत सालों से लोग करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. इस पैराग्राफ में ना कुछ लाइंस थोड़ी सी ट्रिकी हैं. लेट्स फोकस ऑन दोस लाइंस. ठीक है, पहला, there is a scholar who says he was an over the top, histrionic, melodramatic figure. तो इसका जो ये रिएक्शन था, I've got it, और फिर फेंट हो जाना, 5 दिन तक रिकवर नहीं करना, was it melodrama? Was it too much ecstasy, bursting with a lot of ecstasy? Was it or was it not? What do you think? Because there's a scholar who claims iska jo ye reaction tha, it was more of a melodrama. According to the author, was it too melodramatic or was it justified? What do you think? What's the answer? It was, according to the author, was his reaction equally melodramatic? Yes. No. No, 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 no. It was justified. It was not melodramatic. His reaction, yes, Tuti, his reaction was justified. It was not exaggerated. कैसे पता लगा ये? देखो, ध्यान से देखो. The scholar's reaction usually was pretty melodramatic, over the top, bursting with ecstasy. But here, his reaction was also far from hyperbolic. It was far, far away. Hyperbole is exaggeration. His reaction was far from it. It was not an exaggerated one because the kind of discovery he did, it was very, very important. So the kind of reaction that was there was justified. Not over the top, but just appropriate. Anyone else would have reacted in a similar, probably even more hyperbolized. His reaction was justified. Would you agree, everyone? Do you now understand why his reaction, according to the author, was justified? Not over the top, not hyperbolized, not bursting with ecstasy or melodrama. Okay, let's continue. Let's break your hearts. Let's see, what did he reveal? What did he find? Page number 2. Read this and send me a done. I have an all girls viewership. I'm glad there are so many girls in my class today. I can't see any boy live. I'm so proud of you, my girls. Read the page and send me a done. You are Muskan, certainly. So, देखो, revealing. You see the revelation? You now understand क्या चीज discover करी थी scholar ने? That he fainted and did not recover for 5 long days. Right? So, let's see. Yes, Diya, I did not. I did not find one. Thank you for noticing and pointing. तो देखो, there was a slab. उसका नाम था रोजेटा स्टोन. इस स्लैब पे कुछ इंस्क्रिप्शन था. जब ये इंस्क्रिप्शन फर्स्ट टाइम देखा लोगों ने, तो उस पे उन्होंने 3 तरह की स्क्रिप्ट्स देखी. हायरोग्लिफ देखा, डेमोटिक देखा और एंशिएंट ग्रीक. ये 3 स्क्रिप्ट देखी उन्होंने लिखी हुई. और स्कॉलर्स ने बोला कि ये तो हमको 2 वीक लगेंगे पता करने में कि क्या लिखा हुआ है. ये तो आसान काम है. 3 स्क्रिप्ट दिख गई हमको, हम उसको डेसिफर कर लेंगे, हमको पता लग जाएगा इसमें क्या लिखा हुआ है. That did not happen though. It took them 20 years to decipher what was written there. Of course, the scholar who had fainted found out what was written there, but it took them 20 years to find out. Probably the reason was three scripts: hieroglyph, demotic and ancient Greek. एंड क्योंकि एंशियंट ग्रीक इतना कॉमन लैंग्वेज था, इसीलिए लोगों ने डेसिफर किया था कि इसीलिए लोगों ने अज्यूम किया था कि हम तो 2 वीक्स पे पता लगा लेंगे इसमें क्या लिखा हुआ है, बट ऐसा होना नहीं था. सो लोगों ने क्या किया, 20 साल लगा दिए इसको ढूंढने में कि इसमें क्या लिखा हुआ था. अब ये पता करते हैं इसमें लिखा क्या था. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वाज रिटन ऑन द स्लैब ऑन रोजेटा स्टोन दैट एक्चुअली was a mystery for these long 20 years और उससे भी पहले जब से ये engraved था. Here you go, unraveling the mystery which will break your heart. Arya is facing a lot of difficulty. Guys, देखो पहले ये क्वेश्चन ही एड्रेस करते हैं before you read this page. बिकॉज हमारे ये जो एडिटोरियल क्लासेस हैं इनका पर्पस ही यही है कि आपको ये समझ में आए, दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू डेसिफर अ पैसेज in an easier manner, in an effective manner. One, देखो, Arya, I expect you to be really, really regular. There are a couple of other people who send me messages कि मैम नहीं समझ में आ रहा passage, I'm unable to understand, I have difficulties understanding it. Guys, I keep reiterating many things through the class. I keep telling you these are the lines you need to focus on. These are the words you need to learn. These are the lines you can miss. So it's an evolving process, Arya, that you'll come across, which will take some time to grasp, probably 10-15 days. Plus, you are a regular student in my class. I know that. So you have to be regular with the RC classes that I have. But apart from that, if you ask me in one line कि मैम आपको क्या लगता है कि अगर मुझे आरसी इंप्रूव करना है, आप मुझे ऐसी एक टेक्निक बताओ जो मुझे जरूर फॉलो करनी चाहिए. इफ यू आस्क मी दिस वन सिंपल क्वेश्चन एंड यू वांट एन आंसर इन वन सिंगल लाइन, I'll use 2 lines because मेरे लिए देखो ये पूरा एक कोर्स है आरसी का ना, तो मैं एक लाइन में तो आंसर नहीं कर सकती. I'll answer that in 2 simple lines, and I think most of you will already know this. Those of you who follow this, I'm sure unki boat will cross the entire bridge and it will reach the other side. Those who know it but don't follow it, you guys are making a mistake. My answer is one. If you are reading a passage, always mind map. Mind map क्या है? How is this page related to the previous one? Story को link बनाओ बच्चे. If you don't make a link, आपके लिए retention extremely difficult हो जाएगा. You have to retain passage में लिखा क्या है, and you have to connect them to make a bigger picture in your head, Arya. So when you read this, and everyone else who's still struggling with RC, for example, Sijan, if you're here, I have read your comment, okay? Read this page. See, how does it link to the previous page? Here, there's an answer of what was written. Previous page spoke about the mystery. Linking the story in a story of this sort is easy. Understanding the structure, Muskan, in such a story is easy. But when you have paragraphs that talk about biomass, biofuel, that talks about cryptocurrencies, वहां थोड़ा difficult होता है link करना, retain करना, because these topics are new to you. So always, Sijan is here. Okay. So always break the passage into fragments. Link them. First paragraph, second paragraph, क्या link है? Second paragraph, third paragraph, क्या link है? Link बनाओ अपने mind में. First thing to do. And always, you know my favorite word, and that's look at the bigger picture. Bigger picture क्या है? Passage क्यों लिखा है? Author ने ये कहानी बता क्यों रहा है हमको? What does he want to tell? उसका आंसर कहां से निकलेगा? First paragraph, last paragraph से. Very likely you'll find your answer there. So if you're confused about what the passage talks about, always look at the bigger picture. क्यों लिखा है passage? First paragraph पे ध्यान दो, last paragraph पे ध्यान दो. अगर आप ये दोनों कर लोगे ना, 80% accuracy, I can guarantee you on that. But you have to do this. You have to practice this, बच्चे. You have to take baby steps and reach this stage that you can do both the steps in a jiffy. Effort नहीं लगाना पड़ेगा आपको वो करने के लिए. वापस आते हैं स्लाइड पे. Enough of ज्ञान. Read the page and send me a done. Yes, Diya. Yes, Vanchika, you're absolutely right. कुछ भी इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं था इस रोजेटा स्टोन में. Such a hard break it is, भाई. People took 20 years to decipher क्या लिखा था. 3 languages, 3 script पढ़नी पड़ी उनको. पता क्या लगा? It just stated about the king. King की preachings, king के cult के बारे में, king की divinity के बारे में, that he is the best man. उसके बारे में praises. Who wants to read that today? Of course, there are historians who would want to know exactly culture कैसे work करता था, society कैसे work करती थी. You get an insight in the in history. But then ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि अर्थ राउंड नहीं है, अर्थ फ्लैट है, या हमने एलियंस को देखा. ऐसा कुछ रेवलेशन नहीं था. तो 20 साल बाद रेवलेशन तो हुआ, बट नथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर यू एंड आई. Okay, so Rosetta, and this part is completely a part of premise. It was a part of a bigger stone broken into fragments. हमको उससे मतलब नहीं है. अभी उसकी कंडीशन क्या है? It's a broken stone. और उससे लोगों ने decipher किया कुछ. This part should have been skimmed. Nothing very, very important here. Let's move to the next page. But before that, we've launched our test series. If you're targeting 2023 or 2024, enroll yourself right now for the test series. We're putting in a lot of hard work behind the test series. Every single question is going through so much scrutiny, so much of hard work. And we're making sure, I'm a part of that team as well. All of us are. And we're making sure that you get the best of the questions. Don't wait, enroll yourself right away. If you're already enrolled, you'll find access to the test series. And we have launched a crash course for CLAT 2023 as well that starts very, very soon. On YouTube, it starts on 2nd of October, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday on 9 p.m. Read the page, send me a done. Now you see, another big revelation. पहले क्या मानते थे? There were 3 scripts. 3 script में लिखा हुआ था रोजेटा स्टोन पे. निकल के क्या आया? Not 3 scripts, my child, but only 2. एक ही स्क्रिप्ट को 2 तरीके से लिखा गया था. द फॉन्ट चेंज्ड. और वो फॉन्ट, इमेजिन, इट वाज सो ब्यूटिफाइड, इट वाज सो डिफरेंट, इट लुक्ड सो डिफरेंट दैट पीपल थॉट ये अलग लैंग्वेज है ऑल टुगेदर. मतलब ए को एक तरीके से लिखोगे और दूसरे तरीके से लिखोगे, इतना ट्विस्टेड वे में लिखा दैट पीपल थॉट इट्स अ न्यू स्क्रिप्ट ऑल टुगेदर. फ्रेंच का, जर्मन का, इंग्लिश का, सबका स्क्रिप्ट सेम है, राइट? सब में हम एबीसी ही लिखेंगे. मीनिंग चेंजेस, वर्ड्स चेंज. यहां स्क्रिप्ट बिल्कुल सेम था. एंड उसी स्क्रिप्ट को एक अलग, एग्जैक्टली देबाद्रिता, written in a different style with a different font, and thus it looked as if there were 3 different scripts. There were no 3 different scripts. So now this page can obviously lead to a question: what could be the difficulties people faced while they were deciphering the Rosetta Stone? तो डिफिकल्टीज में क्या हो सकता है? 3 different script, अंडरस्टैंडिंग देम. देन नेक्स्ट इज 3 नहीं था, 2 थे, उसका फॉन्ट डिफरेंट था, अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट was also a problem. Very likely the next page can also talk about more difficulties people faced. Let's read that because I hadn't shown you that page in the morning. Here you go, next page. Read this and I'll ask you a question by the end of this page. Another heartbreak coming your way. Did it break your heart? 3 अलग-अलग पैराग्राफ talking about the same thing. एक ही स्क्रिप्ट को 3 अलग-अलग तरीके से, 2 स्क्रिप्ट को 3 अलग-अलग तरीके से लिख दिया, बात वो एक ही चीज की कर रहे हैं. एग्जाम्पल देखो कितना अप्रोप्रिएट है. इफ यू डिड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ, याद रखना, you always pay attention to the examples. If you understand the example, आपके लिए वो पैराग्राफ समझना will be a cakewalk. तो लैंग्वेज एक ही थी, स्क्रिप्ट थी 2 तरीके की, लेकिन वो बस अलग अलग तरीके से सेम ही बात बोल रहे थे. एक मूवी का प्लॉट, द एग्जाम्पल इज यूज्ड हियर, राइट. एक मूवी का प्लॉट आपसे पूछेंगे तो आप कहानी किसी और तरीके से सुनाओगे, मैं कहानी किसी और तरीके, कहानी तो एक ही रहेगी ना. उसको बोला 3 अलग अलग तरीके से ताकि लोगों को समझ में आ जाए. बोला क्या कि किंग की प्रेज थी, किंग की प्रेज लोगों को समझ में आ जाए कि किंग इज द बेस्ट मैन इन द एंटायर वर्ल्ड. उसकी प्रेज 3 अलग अलग तरीके से बता दी कि कंटेंट भी सेम, स्क्रिप्ट भी सेम, 20 साल लगा दिए डेसिफर करने में. व्हाट अ हार्ट ब्रेक. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, what is the purpose of writing the last paragraph here? This is not the end of the story continues furthermore. Tell me, what is the purpose of writing the last paragraph? Purpose of writing the last paragraph here. Important question, everyone. Yes, Saloni, absolutely. Purpose of last paragraph. ये क्यों एग्जाम्पल, कैट का एग्जाम्पल क्यों दिया है? What is the purpose? It is like the answer when student, yes, yes, yes. Yes, Lakshmi. This continues the difficulties people faced while deciphering what was written. The cat example justifies that. If, for example, thousands of years later, English is extinct and somebody sees the word written cat, they can pronounce it. But if they've never seen a cat, or they don't, if they've seen a cat but they don't know इस animal को cat बोलते हैं, how will they even understand ये cat क्या चीज है? Right? For example, ancient instrument, typewriter. My daughter would never know what a typewriter is. उसके लिए extinct है वो, उसको पता ही नहीं typewriter क्या चीज होती है. तो क्योंकि cat word था, but ये language extinct हो गई, they will not be able to understand. That's the purpose of writing the last paragraph, is telling the readers about another difficulty the people, the scholars faced while deciphering what was written. Okay, so Lakshmi, absolutely correct. Let's continue with the next page. Read this and send me a done. Such kind of people exist. I mean, imagine doing it for leisure. Exactly, Vanshika. Many words were out of use, they did not exist, and thus it was difficult for them to decipher what was written. Now see, the story continues. There are 2 people fighting to decipher what was written, है ना? And one came out victorious and then painted for 5 days. That was Champollion, who was the Frenchman, and then there was an Englishman. Okay, this Englishman was actually not very fond of this specific Rosetta Stone. He did it as a leisure activity. कि चलो खाली टाइम है तो डेसिफरिंग करेंगे, आज टाइम है मेरे पास तो कुछ एक्स्ट्रा घंटे डेसिफर करते हैं. इसलिए नहीं कि क्या हिस्ट्री है, क्या पास्ट रहा है. His interest was not there. Probably that's the reason why he couldn't decipher what was written. On the contrary, if you look at the Frenchman, Champollion, He wanted to know about history. He was very keen with ancient Egypt. And since he was so keen in what the history was about, probably that was the reason why he was able to decipher it before the Englishman did. Okay? Now, this story is going to get a very good twist in the next page. Yeah, he was a polymath. Exactly, Muskan. So let's see, aage continue. Why is the author mentioning these two people? You'll get to know in the next page. Here you go with this continuation of the story. Read this and send me a done. Yes, Vanchika. He had a motive, and that's exactly why he found what was written in the hieroglyph. And now you see, there was a fight between these two people, a Frenchman and an Englishman. The fight was to figure out what was written on Rosetta Stone. And the reason could be the fight between two nations, English and French. So the fight was not only about finding it first, the fight was also about national glory. Ki mera nation. I'll reserve my comments here. Ultimately, the Englishman was able to find it out, and obviously, England has it with them in the British Museum. Like they have many other things, like they have the Kohinoor, like they have the other things. It's there across the museums and it will be displayed. Ultimately, giving a closure to the story is that what was written was not very interesting, but the story of deciphering certainly was an interesting one. I hope you loved reading the story with me. The purpose of bringing the story to you was obviously to test your knowledge on the main idea of the passage and the tone. The tone here is supremely easy. I want you yeah, the story has taken a completely different turn. Who thought if the fight between nations could be a reason? I want you to comment under my video with the tone of the author, not here in the chat box, but in the comment section. And we have launched our CLAT 23 crash course on our YouTube channel. If you wish to cover up your course for CLAT 2023, make sure you attend all these sessions live. It starts from 2nd of October, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday at 9 p.m. And All India Mega Mock, nahi diya abhi tak to de dena. I'm going to see you again at 11 a.m. tomorrow with a very interesting piece of article that talks about magic. Would you like to read about magic tomorrow? I already have the slides ready. 11 a.m. tomorrow sharp. Don't miss out on the session. And don't leave this video without hitting the like button. Follow us on all these places: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. Download app on Google Play. Hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Comment under my video. That is all so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. I shall see you again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Bye. Have a very good day. Good night. Sijan, कल बताऊंगी ये on article, okay?